Hello everyone. I'm aware that I look scuffed as fuck right now. I did not plan well, and well, now I don't have a beard for this recording. So, I guess, let's jump into what we're actually doing here today. I was gonna give you guys a brief synopsis on what was gonna happen in the video, but Tim's a prick and he didn't let me see it. So, not really sure how I'm supposed to do with that. Anyone wants to say anything, they can put it in the comments below how the fuck I was supposed to deal with that shit. So, you know, didn't end up doing that. Brainstormed a little bit. So, I decided if I don't get to know what's going on in the video, I can at least talk about the cast. Disclaimer. When I describe the cast, I am only talking about people that I know well enough that I could actually give a description for. If you're not on here, that's how I feel about you. If you have an issue with that, hang around me more. I don't fucking know. It's your fucking problem, not mine. Alright, let's get into it. Oh, I should also preface before we go any further. The descriptions are going to be D&D. So, it's going to be probably a weird mix mash of them. Of kind of real life and also fantasy kind of descriptions. If you have an issue with it, I don't fucking know. Go to HR. I don't know. There's probably a link, like there or there. I don't know. My editor will figure it out. Anyways, first person is Josh. If we were talking a couple years back, it'd be pretty straightforward. Josh is a pretty clear-cut rogue. All he did was cause issues and instigate people while staying in the back lines, basically getting other people to do his work. Did it mostly out of entertainment. I think one of the notable things was he got paid by Jack to convince me that the parking ticket wasn't a big deal or something like that. Anyways, we all know him. We all love him and hate to love him, I guess, back then. But yeah. Overwhelmingly rogue. I don't think you could argue anything else back then. But since then, he's cooled off a lot. Not so much of an instigator. Doesn't really bring all that kind of energy to the table anymore. So, I don't know. I think we'll go reformed. Although, to be honest with you, it might be more retired for him. Not necessarily sure if he had a change of conscience that caused it, or if he just doesn't really have the energy to keep up with it anymore. But either way, reformed, retired, rogue, one or the other. And probably now his new class is probably more ranger, kind of aloof, sees what's going on, is interested in what's going on, but you know, for the most part, doesn't get too far into it and usually stays more on the sidelines. You know, still useful, still helpful, still fun to be around, but you know, it's just kind of where it is. If you get a private moment with him, you'll get some pretty good information out of him. So, yeah, that's my final consensus on him. Moving down the list. Oh, wait. One second. All right. Forgot. We have rankings. We are ranking everybody. So, forgot about that part. Josh, you shall be receiving a 14 brainwashed out of 5. Moving on, we have Dan. Honestly, for better or for worse, Dan is probably one of the most clean-cut of all of them. He is a bard through and through. There really isn't much argument there. Obviously musically talented, and also just has charisma stats off the chart. I mean, it pretty much writes itself. I probably need to take maybe 3 seconds to write that, put that down. It's probably one of the first associations I had.
Yeah, that's kind of that.
But I do feel bad because even though it's very straightforward and understandable, I feel like I'm not giving him the screen time that he deserves because he's a damn good bard. He has, like I said, charisma stats off the chart. Lights up a room. Pretty classic bard stuff. Definitely would want him on your team. Although, maybe might steal your girl.
What do you mean by that?
But, you know, price you pay for Yeah, but jokes aside, very solid. Would always want him on my team. Know that he would be able to get me into any alliance or any other thing I'd want to do. And maybe if you're doing something a little more shady, a little under the rug, could probably slip you in there too. So, you know, not a bad take. Just saying. Now for Dan, my ranking for him will be 1 EO out of 1. I should have gone longer with that, but you know. Moving on, we have Alec. Alec will be our first step into what I would consider not normal rankings in the sense of what class we're going to do. I originally was going to say that I wasn't going to do subclasses because I barely know them, and if I barely know them, there's not a goddamn person here that knows any of them at all.
What do you mean by that?
Although if Drake and Molly are, I might be standing corrected. Regardless, I'm going to stick to what I said. Alec will not be the first example of a subclass, but he will be a dual class. Not because I think he's particularly more special than anyone else, but because one class just does not describe him. So Alec is a dual class. He is a monk dual class with Berserker. Alec is a very intellectual and disciplined, I would say very disciplined individual when it comes to daytime stuff.
What do you mean by that?
Or maybe not daytime stuff, but you know, real world job stuff. When you know you need to do that kind of stuff, or you're having an emotional conversation with him, he's going to be there. He's going to be in tune with all of that and matching a good energy and becoming disciplined, professional, all the kind of things that you want out of that kind of thing. But when we get to the other side of it, if he is ever in a situation in which he doesn't have to take things seriously, or you know doesn't need to, or doesn't see that he needs to, yeah, he goes maxed out on Berserker. Just does dumb shit, breaks dumb things, does dumb shit. Has really no discipline whatsoever. Will blatantly not listen to you or do whatever the hell he thinks he wants to do, and oftentimes immediately regrets it after he does. Yeah, I mean, if the monk version of Alec I find very intelligent, I think the Berserker side of Alec is dumb as fuck. I think probably the dumbest person I've ever met. What? In terms of doing things and then instantly regretting them and then apologizing for them, but still doing them. The dumbest person I've ever met.
Out of pocket for that shit.
But I shouldn't dog on him too hard. I think he does important roles on both sides. I think the monk is, you know, very disciplined, caring, understanding. You can have some very serious conversations with him, and it usually works out pretty well. And, you know, you really get what you need from him. And then the Berserker side is the silly side. He's more ridiculous than you, so you get to be a little silly too, and you don't feel self-conscious about it. And on top of that, it's fun to make fun of him. Sorry, Alec, if that hurts your feelings, but that's just kind of the way it is. It's hilarious, and I love you for it, but, you know, it is still stupid. That's all I have to say for him. His ranking will be 1.5 flips out of 6. Now we go on to Nate, and I will preface this one with a conspiracy theory warning. Some of the things that I will be saying about Nate are not confirmed. They're just my opinion, and could be wrong, but also could not be wrong. Nate's also a special situation because part of it has to do with subclass, so we get our first introduction to subclasses. If you don't know what they are, you're about to find out. And if you don't understand what I'm saying in those situations, okay, Nate is going to be a ranger. Pretty basic, kind of the same as Josh, more aloof, kind of out on the outside. If you get some alone time with him, you realize, you know, he's knowledgeable, he knows what he's talking about, he's fun to be around and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, honestly, he's a very likable guy. feel like everyone who meets him likes him. Just very easygoing and gets along with people. And that's where we move into the conspiracy theory, in which Nate may be a subclass of the rogue called the assassin. Now, the assassin, if you know what an assassin is, you might have an idea of what they do. They, murder people without other people seeing. But in D&D, it's more specifically like costumes, makeup, like you kind of pretend to be someone else and people believe you. And I'm not trying to say necessarily that Nate's trying to be someone else, but isn't it strange that everyone likes Nate? Everyone gets along with him, and I've never seen anybody that doesn't. Almost as if he's pretending to be someone he's not, to sneak into their life and murder them. Just saying. All I am saying is that he could be a killer, and he's going to... Nate is going to be receiving a ranking of 3. Do I know you? Out of 4. Tim. Aww. Tim is a wizard. I think I put him in wizard because I think we all know, if you've ever really interacted with Tim and had experiences with Tim and stuff like that, he just kind of doesn't sit in the same plane as us. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but I definitely do. I like to say that I never feel like I'm on the same plane as him. I do. But there are definitely times where I just kind of seem like Tim's just on a different plane of existence than me. And I'm not trying to say it's a better or worse one. It just is very clearly different. And I'm going to deem that one as magic, and he's a wizard. Also, you could make the dumb joke that he's an editing wizard and be like, oh, he's a wizard. I didn't go with that one, but I still wanted to bring it up. I wanted to also preface the difference between sorcerers and wizards. A sorcerer is someone that's innately gifted with magic, and a wizard is someone that has to learn it and has no inherent magic. So that's kind of a homage to Tim with his whole music wizardry and being like, it wasn't all talent. There was a lot of practice that came with it, not just sheer talent. Aww. Yeah, so those are the 2 little things. Tim will be getting a ranking of 3. Too easy out of 4. Dylan. Kind of had a hard time with Dylan. Very confusing individual. Love him to death, but really hard to pinpoint. And then I think I figured it out. Dylan is a clear-cut cleric. Now, I'm sure that is going to be confusing, and I will explain to you that cleric is the equivalent of a priest or healer. So, your confusion is correct, and you're not just mishearing what cleric is and not knowing what it is. Yeah. No, it's a mismatch. And that's why we're going into the subclass. You see, I think Dylan is a very bring up people and is kind of a healer in the sense that, he likes to see everyone happy and doing okay and all that great jazz. And now we add the subclass of Tempest. If anyone knows what that is, I think they'll start to get the picture of what I'm saying here. For everyone that doesn't, Tempest clerics are violent.
Viciously?
Imagine, your priest, and he's doing his thing, healing and stuff, and then out of nowhere he just starts throwing lightning everywhere. And then you look at your priest and you say, what? Viciously? Violent? That's Dylan. Very nice, very happy, but also a lot of energy and just sheer veracity that you wouldn't expect to come out of somebody that's inherently that good. Very confusing.
What you know about rolling down in the deep and you grind?
For Dylan, You see,
These things happen.
a little side cut here. All right, we'll move to the side for the side cut too, actually. You see we're moving to the side for the side cut, yeah. I have realized there are some information that has not been filled out yet. And instead of filling it out, I'm going to ad-lib it. And figuring out how I'm moving away from the side cut. You know what, no more side cut. We're done with the side cut. Dylan. For Dylan's ranking, I will be giving him what you know about rolling 3. Now we're on. I will be giving him 3 shotguns out of 4. Now we're on to Nico. Nico is, I think, a pretty straightforward person, and therefore is going to get a pretty straightforward class, and that's Fighter. Unfortunately, I think Fighter is so undescriptive of a human being in any way, shape, or form that we're going to have to do more than that, and that's why he gets a subclass. Don't at me. Seriously. Don't. Okay, anyways. His subclass will be Champion. And Champion is kind of defined by feats and just what you are able to accomplish. Most people that do that kind of subclass are usually selfish and kind of only care about what they're able to accomplish and really don't have any eyes for what other people can do. They're very self-motivated and self-focused. So I think it seems pretty straightforward. They're kind of like in a world of a game where you can have so many special abilities and cool things that you can interact with and with the world. Champion is kind of like, oh, that's cool. I'm just going to have stats so strong that those don't matter and I won't really use them. And that's kind of how I see Nico. It's just sheer intelligence or strength or just overall power in any respect, just overpowering the other person no matter what kind of tricks or slips they have up their sleeve. Pretty high praise if you're asking me. Also reliable, I'll say that. He's a very reliable person. He's not gonna screw you over. True to his word. Pretty classic fighter kind of stuff. Honorable. That kind of stuff as well. And Nico will be getting a ranking of 3. Or should I say 4? No. I'll say 5. Built different. Out of 5. Finally, to round off this whole endeavor, we have Rochelle. Rochelle is hard to define, and I did struggle, but I think that I can make a pretty clear-cut case as to why Rochelle is a paladin. When I think of paladins, I think of loyal, honorable, noble. I think Rochelle has very strong beliefs and that she doesn't let anyone challenge them. I think that whatever she believes in, she's going to believe them no matter how she gets challenged. Not like in necessarily like stubborn, like I don't care what you have to say, I'm going to ignore you way, but just kind of like doesn't give in to peer pressure and sticks up for people when they are being mistreated, even if it's not like, I don't know, the norm or whatever. And sometimes she comes across as a bitch to some people, apparently. Not me. Definitely not me. I would never view her that way at all. But I've heard other people say it. And, I think that's just misinterpreting her for, being a paladin and wanting to protect people. And sometimes they don't realize that they need to be protected. or the people that you're protecting them from are mad at you for doing so, even though you're actually helping the person. Rochelle is a paladin, loyal, noble, caring, and willing to make sacrifices for people, like having people over at 5 a.m. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And for Rochelle, I'll give her a ranking of 13 best pal out of 3. Pretty good for asking me. Well, that rounds out that list, but we do have a couple of honorable mentions. When it comes to the honorable mentions, I got lazy, and you guys will not be getting rankings, just descriptions. Sorry. First, we have Drake.
Yeah.
I would describe Drake as a fighter, specifically battle master. I kind of give him this description because I feel like he kind of wants to win by any means necessary in terms of games, or, you know, just honestly probably life too. And he's going to figure out every single way that he can gain an advantage on someone. And that's kind of what the battle master does. Studies all his moves and abilities. You just have a lot of options. Fighters usually seem pretty straightforward, but when you go battle master class, it's a little more complicated. And that's kind of how I view Drake, where it's like, you know, maybe simplistic, but once you dig under there, there's a little more complexity to it. Maybe a lot more, depending on how you see it.
What do you mean by that?
And then my other and final would be Victor. Victor is a pretty classic ranger as well, for the reasons that I've already described other people as rangers. Aloof, not like the forefront of attention, and, you know, like kind of likes to talk, but not like be the center of everything. If you get one-on-one with him, he'll usually have some interesting things to talk about and some knowledgeable information.
What you know about rolling?
And then classic, classic could be put on iTunes if you want to. Oh, SoundCloud. That's what it's called. You put on SoundCloud. But anywho, back to this. He also has the classic name Eagle Eye. I mean, that also, when you're a sharpshooter like that, it's hard to not be a ranger. I mean, you know, seeing that much proficiency from that, it's kind of hard not to view him that way. I have a hard time not viewing him that way. Maybe other people feel different about it, but that is how I see it. Old Eagle Eye himself. I was honored to see him on the court once.
And I hope I never have to face it again.
All right, well. Yeah, that's the end of this intro. Pretty long intro. I don't really know how Tim's going to deal with this.
But he's going to figure it out.
But I'm glad that I was able to do it. I had a lot of fun with it. I hope you guys enjoy it. And, oh, I should probably preface, I did not give myself a description. I feel like it's more fun for other people to describe. So if Tim wants to edit in a description somewhere, he can do that. Or if he doesn't want to, then he can just let me wave my finger around like an idiot.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
It's a Gundam program.
But if he doesn't, or even if he does, you can disagree with him. And just put in the comments below what I am, and like maybe like a description. A ranking would be cool too. but I don't expect that. But it'd be cool. I hope that this video after this video will be pretty good. I'm sure it will be. Tim's a wizard. Thanks, Tim, for letting me do this. And I hope that we all enjoy the video. All right. Bye, guys.
I hear you. On my way. It's nearly time.
That's it. Go to your room.
I haven't seen my good friend Gordon for many months, but very soon he'll be passing through this junction here with so many tones. I cannot wait. Thank you, Gordon! Thank you so much, Gordon! I'm gonna run over and 73!
Honk for me, please. Honk for me.
Yes! 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 Other side.
That's why I love.
Quickly.
Another one.
Honk for me! Honk!
He went. That's why I love being a UK citizen.
One. Yeah!
Be on my way and I won't be long. I'll be dead by dawn. I'll be dead by dawn. I'll be dead by dawn. I'll be dead by dawn.
Somebody say Crombie? What is that, Crombie? It's not even a word. You're losing your mind.
lyrics. Me, I do this thing on the mic with no gimmicks. Came a long way, I was serving in those civics. And you were trying to keep me from winning, but I did it, I did it. Ask about me, I did it. Let man stay on my sofa, I did it. Busting my watch on my choker, I did it. I kept a straight face in this poker, I did it. Look, rest assured man's got you. If life's weighing you down, then I'll spot you. Water you, show you sun, never block you. If no one's backing your beef, then I've got to. Yeah, back your beef, that's my job. Just ride for me, don't write off. I got your back, hold tight when you climb on. I've always been a real to rely on.
Lady, hear me tonight, cause my feeling is just so right. As we dance by the moonlight, can't you see, you're my delight.
Live and direct don't mean that I'm live, but live and direct means I'm building a vibe. Touch on a mind, on God, I'm a ride. I win and break bread for my fam, I provide. 8-piece, AP, come and get me. Set beast, curl it in from a set piece. AJ makes the waves like a jet ski. Iced out ice everywhere like I'm Gretzky. Easy money, check my KD. I ball like KD, I rock like AC. You know me, done shows in DC, NYC. Drop my top like page 3. Cool breeze match the London sky. Barbell, cruise like a 4-wheel drive. Take time when I'm on the mic, it's live and pressure makes diamonds. Try me, I'll thrive.
Bitch.
Squidward, Plankton, 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 Patrick, Gary, 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 SpongeRob.
I don't even want to be around anymore.
What?
I don't want to be around anymore.
Like you don't want to live anymore?
Oh, hello there. I didn't notice you over there. Hi, I'm Taika Waititi.
I'm Stephen Merchant.
And we're here to break down a scene for my new film, Jojo Rabbit. That's what I like to think about Hitler. Soon after he adopted that moustache, he decided he didn't want it, but then he was known for it and he couldn't get rid of it.
That's of course it, yeah. Do you think he experimented with other ones prior to that? Yes. He perhaps had the kind of large classic handlebar, maybe the sort of...
He would have had like this, like that.
Yep.
And then like that. He would have had that, and then he would have. And then also, this one time I heard he grew his moustache so long that it went around the back of his head.
Wow.
And then up on the top, and this was all moustache.
That was all moustache.
It was all moustache.
Haven't you seen The Incredibles?
Change your number. Guess that I don't need that. okay, it's childish. Can't be no homegirl, drop it like the NASDAQ. Move white girls like this coke up my ass crack. Move black girls, cause man, fuck it, I'll do either. I love pussy, I love bitches, dude. I should be running Peter in Adidas with some short shorts. B-O-O all over me. My green is where it's supposed to be. Your green is in my grocery. This Asian dude, I stole his girl, and now he got that Koji beef. My dick is like an accent mark, it's all about the over ease. Hot like a parked car. I sound weird like Nico with a hard R.
I dare you play your cards, boy, you bet I'm a trendsetter too.
Scum-sucking motherfucking whore! Cock!
Fire when the strobe hits you.
Jism! Grandma! Cock!
Bet you're looking for something new.
Cock, turd, cunt, piss, balls!
Staring never crushed through.
Swat!
Shit! Ratio, cunnilingus!
Bet I'm a trendsetter too.
French kissing! Rim job!